So yeah, I added this person that I thought was my friend. Is definitely not my friend. And they're like, "Hey, someone to talk to." I was like, "God damn it, you're not my friend at all." And then this last message she sent me is, "I would ask to exchange pics, but I think I'd rather see each other. You can see the real thing on my cam. You want to?"
Nah, brah. No, I cannot right now if you're speaking.
What about now?
Was there now.
There you
I
go.
can.
Right, yeah, okay, my mic's been muted. I was just coming back with all the shit Gary was saying and very funny responses. No one laughed.
And you weren't
Right.
even...
Okay, is this normal? Yeah, okay, quite often people don't laugh at the things I think are funny, but when I said cam whore and no one answered anything, I was like, yeah, this is not working.
Or you can answer this one. Click. She puts a link in. It's a more secure place with my cam. You will have to verify your age, so I'm not showing my pussy to a
You'll have
minor.
to verify your AIDS.
Yes, my AIDS. So I'm not showing my pussy to a minor. I had to do it too, but wait. I had to do it too, but don't worry, it's 100% free, and it's a lot of fun once you get in.
Draw your sword, knock your arrows, and ready your spellbook. It's time for another episode of The Gamesmen. What role will you play?
Evening, guys, gals, and guildies, and welcome to episode 21 of The Gamesmen. The Gamesmen are here to play roles, and I'm going to play the role of your host. I'm Amherst89, and with me today I have a couple people. The first is going to be our semi-special guest. He hasn't been on since, I think, episode 3, and that is Mr. Nick Garuin Amos.
He's
My mom
not
says I'm
semi-special.
special, too.
He's proper special. My mama said I was special.
My mama said I'm real special.
Anyway, Nick, how are you?
We apologise
but
to any
besides
special
that, I
people
can't
who listen
complain.
to the show. We didn't mean any offence.
Damn, Dan, shh, I didn't say your name yet. Damn, I just said your name.
It's a disclaimer. I was just saying, we apologise to any special people who listen to the show. We don't mean any offence.
Anyway, Garuin, how are you?
I'm hot, but besides that, I can't complain.
Apparently you're going to be freeballing it soon.
Oh,
Hot or sexy hot?
not soon. Soon was past tense.
Alright, and with us as well, if you haven't heard him 100 times already, I have Mr. Dan, Hardlydan Natman. How are you, you interrupting bastard?
As you can probably tell, I'm a little bit drunk because I'm not used to doing these shows on a Thursday.
Yeah.
But,
Interrupting Brit. Moo!
hey, there are people out there that like my voice. What can I say?
And the reason we're recording early is because, well, my anniversary is on Monday, so we're going to Virginia on, well, tomorrow, and I think I'm going to take my PC to kind of edit the podcast and put it up.
That sounds way better than the way I described it to a friend of mine. It's like, oh yeah, we're recording tonight. So don't you normally record on Sunday? I was like, yeah. Why are you recording it? I don't know. It's Gary's anniversary. I think they're going to the movies or something.
Well, we may go see Godzilla or something while we're down there, so we will go and see them.
Yeah, if you add a load of Zs or Zs for the American listeners into Godzilla, you kind of get an idea of. Well, a lot of people in the UK think about the film. It's Godzilla. La! The middle bit apparently quite long, quite boring. Beginning and end brilliant. Just cut.
Well, it's either that or we're seeing Maleficent because Courtney wants to see that.
I can't wait to see Heisenberg try and sell Godzilla Blue Sky. That's why he flips out. He's all methed out.
What you should do is like go and see some kind of show at a theatre because if they're doing
expensive.
well, like no, you can get really cheap shit seats.
I don't want to get shit seats.
No, cheap seats, not shit seats.
I said cheap shit seats.
It sounded like
The
you said
same
cheap
thing.
shits.
Yeah, I know. But I'm drunk and I'm slurring, so forgive me.
Alright, let's get into the games we've been playing. Nick, what have you been playing?
Lately I've been trying to play the first Dark Souls, but that pisses me off to no end. So I'll get like 15 minutes of that in, and then I go to a handful of the other games I've been snatching up while they're on sale, like Hitman, but then Hitman Blood Money, because that was cheap a while ago, but then that pisses me off too. So then I drop down to Hearthstone, then that pisses me off. Then Loadout, then that pisses me off. And then I end up going down to like ESO and just grinding on that for a while.
Now,
So 5 minutes of everything else and
Like 5
100
to
hours
15.
of...
It depends on how quick it takes me to die or like how stupid the death is. Like I went around a corner on Hitman the other day and I was like decked out like one of the guards, and the other guards are like La Migra, or whatever they were shouting. It
the
was
black
South
person, the black
America. Do what?
It sounded like he was saying La Negro. It sounded
La
like
Migra, or I don't speak a lot of Spanish. They could have been like greeting me, but they were shouting, so I'd like try to put away whatever gun I had, or I don't think I even had a gun out half the time. And I just get lit up. Yeah, it sounded angry, and I panicked, and they killed me, and I'm done with it. And then ESO will piss me off sometimes, because
Now, I've got a question about that.
Yes.
You've been playing it for a while.
Yes.
Would you still say it is worth the sub fee?
The $15 a month?
Yeah.
I would, if you were into MMOs. There's like an asterisk to that, because like if you like MMOs, or you're a big fan of Bethesda, like the Elder Scrolls franchise.
But it's not really Elder Scrolls because it's an MMO.
It shouldn't be as much, but yeah.
Well, it's essentially like Morrowind, the MMO, because it takes place in that Morrowind storyline, and
no, it doesn't.
There are parts to it that the MMO kind of messes up.
It's earlier than Morrowind.
Isn't it? Is it? Because I thought Morrowind you were fighting Malog Ball too, but you were the Nerevarine, and instead of the Nerevarine
I'm
here... I'm
sure it's a bit earlier than Morrowind.
Second Age, I thought that it was like around, maybe not.
I think he's starting to get his power, whereas in Morrowind he has his power. I think you're several hundred years before.
So maybe this is like you kick his ass and he's like, "Fuck, I gotta hit the gym," and he goes and gets picked up and comes back. But then we got Nerevarine.
Which is the prequels, because you end up killing him and then somehow he comes back.
Spoiler alert for a game that came out when I was in middle school. You kill Malog Ball in Morrowind, and if you can't deal with that, then...
It is, as far as I'm concerned, it's still the best story in an Elder Scrolls game, Morrowind.
I'd agree for the main game, but
I'd agree, but I keep shelling out $15 a month for this piece of shit. And so I'm going to have to say this one's better.
That's all semantics, because like I enjoy MMOs, and to me this beats out like Terra, this beats out WoW by a fucking lot.
Right, I've played WoW, I didn't enjoy it, but I have put a hell of a lot of hours into Guild Wars 2.
And I put a little bit of time into...
And that is nothing but an MMO.
I think we'd enjoy it if we weren't paying for it. I think that's
and I don't agree with the paying, that's for the sake of argument, $60, and then paying after your 30 days trial period another $15 a month on top of that. I think that's just iniquitous.
Okay, and let me bring up real quick. Sorry, Nick.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna bring this up real quick since we were talking about it. Okay, so Elder Scrolls Online begins at the second era, and it says 583. I'm guessing the year 583. And then Morrowind takes place the third era, 427.
Okay, so there's a bit of space between those.
Yeah, so like you said, Nick, where he kicked his ass, he had to go to the gym.
Yeah, he had to go work out some squats. He had to bulk up some.
And for those people who are thinking,
just whoops his ass.
And for those people thinking that 583 is more recent than 483, it works a bit more like BC in that era in Elder Scrolls.
So there's a 900 years difference between.
No, there's 100 years, 100 and something years difference.
No, because the Elder Scrolls or Morrowind is in the third era, but ESO's in the second era. So there's like a 900 years difference. ESO's at the end of the second era, and Morrowind's, I think, at the
it's not even close. Second era ends at 897, or that's the Tiber Septim declares the second era over at 897, then third era starts.
Hang on, isn't Tiber Septim in...
From Oblivion?
Oblivion, yeah.
Aren't there multiple? Let's see.
That could just be like what they call the Emperor.
Yeah, but I swear it's Tiber Septim.
Martin Septim sacrifices himself and the Amulet of Kings to banish... Oh wait, no, Martin's his son, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, the history.
We're just ruining all.
We could spend the whole podcast. We could spend the whole podcast trying to argue the semantics of the timeline. Yeah, because it is a rich timeline, but
basically, if as most people do, you forget about the early games like Dragonfall and the previous games.
Wasn't the other one like Elder Scrolls Arena or something like that?
There's Arena and there was other stuff. But if you get all of those and you start with Morrowind going into Oblivion and then Skyrim, ESO is before Morrowind.
Yeah, and by 500 years. Arena took place in third era 399, Daggerfall 405 of the third era, Morrowind 427, and Oblivion is 6 years after Morrowind. So those take place really close together, and then Skyrim takes place way after those in the fourth era.
Yeah,
that's
and
E4.
Oblivion goes a fair bit back.
What you were saying though, Dan, about Morrowind having the best storyline.
Oh yeah.
For, the games, I'd say I agree for the games in general.
But you've really got to spend some time in Morrowind to figure out what the fuck's going on.
The DLC though for Oblivion, the Mad Isles, the Shivering Isles, I think would be. That. You should get around to it because I think, in my opinion, that has some of the best story to it, or at least some of the most fun and a little bit of replay value. For me, I replay the Shivering Isles from Oblivion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never did that.
I just love the fact that you keep getting the demons cropping up in all of the games, and you're like, okay, yeah, I know what you're all about. You're just taking a piss and making me do random shit for the fun of it. And those bits that continue through it because they are the Daedra that you meet that are pretty much almost like Norse or Greek or Roman gods that are just toying with you, but they're trapped in whatever realm they're in. And you keep meeting them again, and you're like, yeah, okay, I know this is going to be fun because I've met you enough times in the past, and you're just going to give me some weird trippy mission, and I'll end up with some scepter that turns things into random animals, for example.
That's what I love about that's Sheogorath's staff, and that's who the Shivering Isles is all about. Did this just become like an Elder Scrolls podcast?
We go off on tangents. It's you get three people that love Elder Scrolls, you're going to end up talking about Elder Scrolls.
Which is funny. I haven't played nearly as much as probably both of you.
The Shivering Isles, though, it is all around Sheogorath and his psychotic, manic, you deal with him, and it's a fun playthrough. There's a plethora of missions, and there's a couple different routes to take on it, and you're not fighting normal Daedra in there, because there aren't normal Daedra in Sheogorath's realm.
I'm guessing that what you expect the outcome of the missions to be, they're not what actually happens.
Pretty much. The end of the entire campaign was a pretty big mindfuck between Sheogorath and his...
JR didn't die and he just walked out the shower.
It's It's one of those between Sheogorath and I believe the opposite to Sheogorath would be, and I think he is the only Daedric prince that actually has another nemesis among the like Daedric princes, because Sheogorath is the Daedric prince of like insanity. Then there's Jigalag, who is the Daedric prince of order.
He's like a Vulcan.
I guess.
Yeah, that's not logical.
And and the entire campaign is you dealing with the struggle between like Sheogorath and Jigalag.
The Gigolo. Jigalag, Gigolo. Daedra Prince.
Anyway, I could, and Gary also could. I'm suddenly turning into the host for some strange reason. Sorry, Gary. But we could talk about that for ages. What else have you been playing?
Oh, come on. We lost. He said basically everything in like
that's
30
it.
seconds.
It's just been a whole long list of shit that's been pissing me off. The loadout and just stuff that I've been picking up on sale where it's got like a great meta score and I'd read up on. I'm like, yeah, it's worth the $8 and I'd play it and it's just so fucking hard, but they're fun, but they're hard and they frustrate me to where like, I think a couple years ago I've like punched a hole through a wall or something playing these games. Cause a couple years ago, like I kicked the back off a computer desk playing League. I got that shit under control now, but
I punched a telly once.
Yeah, we talked about it on an earlier podcast, and we're not going back into that.
I know that's I've never like thrown a controller against a wall, but I have ruined a television. So I understand the frustration.
Now, the one thing I want to get out of your games, Nick, is I've heard people talk about this in Hammer Watch. I hear it's like Gauntlet, like one of the original Gauntlets,
but like
style.
8-bit.
Well, yeah, the original Gauntlet was 8-bit.
Okay, I have only played, I think, Gauntlet: The Seven Sorrows.
Oh, wow. Me and my cousin played through that one straight 6 hours.
Gauntlet in the arcades. Never mind.
Yeah, look up the original Gauntlet. And
I played the original Gauntlet.
You were asking if Hammer Watch was anything like Gauntlet, and looking at it, yeah. It's pretty much exactly like Gauntlet was. There's different classes to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gauntlet had a couple of those as well.
There was Thief, Wizard, Warlock, Paladin, and Ranger, if I'm not mistaken. That's all 5 classes. And I insisted on playing Warlock the whole time. Because it was my World of Warcraft class. It's essentially my class on ESO. I was like, I'll give it a go here. And they've got the biggest starting health pool. And also a lot of AoE abilities. It's pretty fun with them. I don't think I ended up finishing it because I went to bed and I was playing with some of the other guys on TeamSpeak. I was playing with Phil and Joe and Ryan, and we got through I think 2/3 of the game before I went to bed, and then they finished it without me, the assholes. But it's a blast.
Now you just started Dark Souls for the first time today, right? Like,
yeah,
well, you're talking to me
not the first time today. I started over again today, and I breezed through the part that I finished before on my Pyromancer.
Mm-hmm. Because
my first playthrough, I was trying out a Pyromancer, and I don't have controllers, so I've been trying to go with my jury-rigged keyboard controls, and that's sort of a pain in the ass, still learning.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you should have heard him earlier. He switched to two-handed, and he's like, crap, how do I change this? How do I do this? I was like, I have no idea on the
PC
keyboard.
For what I said. Like,
there are so many goddamn key presses for random stuff.
That's why I couldn't do it.
You play with the controller and it's simple as hell, and then you use the keyboard and mouse and it's the most complicated freaking key set I've ever used since some shonky flight sim I used where, you know, every degree of thrust had a button and there was buttons for fucking everything. You use like 102 key keyboard and every key had a button. It's like that. It's Jesus, man.
It's almost enough that I want to say fuck it and buy a controller, but at the same time, I kind of want to try and master this keyboard shit and try and find the balance between, like, my bad rage and my functioning rage. Because if I can hit that part where I'm like angry, but not angry to the point where I want to put my hand through the monitor, angry to the point where I just want to beat the game, I'll become a master of this keyboard and I'll go through it. Because I've got my main keybinds to where it's real ergonomic. Q is block, E is parry, F does something. Not 100% sure what off the top of my head, but F lets me change my right hand, and C lets me change my left hand. T lets me use the item, whether it's like a firebomb or the Estus flask or any of that shit. And B is my A button. I think I already said what we did, but I'm not. And then...
Okay, I guess you can hit that with a thumb.
Yeah.
You basically, for like Dark Souls, looking at the keyboard bindings whenever you first go in, you need like 20 fingers.
Oh yeah, I gutted it. I just gutted it right off rip. He was like, I was flipping a house, I walked in, and that was the kitchen, and it all came out. And it's got granite countertops now, but I still gotta get used to everything. I'm stubbing my toe on the island.
That's good. I do recommend, I started playing Dark Souls 4 or Dark Souls 2 after I got my PS4 controller, and oh man, it's so nice. I say that's the reason I'm actually doing good in Dark Souls.
As someone that's never been a fan of PlayStation controllers, that PS4 controller is something I'd be comfortable with. It feels heavy enough. It feels like it's been built well. It doesn't feel like you can twist it and break the thing.
It fits my hands. My big, strong hands.
No, I can't really twist it.
There was a question from one of our shows ages ago, which I never answered on the site, and I said, I've got normal hands, the original Xbox fits me perfectly. That was
months ago now.
Yeah, I know.
The three of us actually had an argument about that, like how far our hands stretched from keyboard, like mine goes from caps lock to
normal
Caucasian
mark. Hands. I have normal Caucasian adult-sized hands, and that controller fits me perfectly.
I can go from the shift
I wear a medium glove.
I wear a medium glove. What? I can go from the shift to the, if I go to the edge of the shift key, I can put my thumb over the whole, question marks, / key.
I can just about go from shift to shift.
Yeah.
I can just reshift, but I can't press it like that with one hand.
We're gonna have our followers doing this shit, and we're gonna get tweets about it like, I go from control to Windows key.
Yes, let us know how far your hand goes on a keyboard.
That's nothing. I mean, they're next to each other.
The right Windows key, I guess I should have said. And then we're gonna have to double check where it is with our hands.
I've only got one Windows key, and it's on the left, so it'd be left Windows key, right control. I can't quite make that. But, yeah, all keyboards are different, aren't they? So, anyway.
And what rages you about Hearthstone? I want to hear this one.
Losing.
Losing. Whenever I get to my stuff, I'll tell you about my losing.
Because it's always, like, close, and I haven't played against, but I think one person yet, or two people. And they both beat me, and that didn't piss me off near as much as the PC, because the PC always manages to pull out that one card, and I know it's fucking bullshit, but they pull it out, and I've got 3 health, and they've got 3 health. They're like, oh, I'm gonna do 7 points damage to you directly, suck my orcish dick. I'm like, no, fuck you, you don't tell me. I, whip shit around the room, and I stomp out.
Yeah, you'll have to play with me and Dan, since we'll be more, balanced, I'm sure. Yeah, shit. We're all shit. That's why we're so balanced.
Are we getting to me now?
I can't. Yeah. Nothing else we can talk about that rages you?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that rages me, but nothing I've been playing lately.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Let's go on to Dan.
Segue into, because I've been playing stuff, which is why I put down. The last show, Lee was saying, oh, you gotta play Hearthstone, So I downloaded Hearthstone and I started playing the tutorial, and he had to go to bed before he finished, and he was like, okay, I'll try not to kick your ass. And then I legitimately beat him 3 times, I think. And he was like,
I think I started playing right after the first podcast, but you only got like a game in or something, and then Monday you were playing more while I was editing.
Yeah, and I beat him a couple of times. He's playing it a lot more than me, and I kind of get the game. I said in the last show, I wasn't too sure about it, but kicking your mate's ass at a game that he's been playing for ages is so much fun.
Oh yeah, it's
and when you lose, you're like,
gratifying. It's right up there with an orgasm in that good feeling spectrum, but it's like an orgasm for the soul.
It's like when you kill an enemy in Call of Duty and go up and teabag him.
And I was and when he beats me, I'm like, well, he's been playing it more. That's fine. And
Well, I mean-
but I did beat him. He had, he was dead, and I had 15 health points left, if not more. So as a noob, that's not bad going for someone that's been playing it for months. And I do quite like the game, and I will play more of it. But what I don't like at the times when you start the game and it gives you your set of 3 cards, and you can choose whether or not you want to swap out those cards. And 9 times out of 10, I get really high level cards, and each turn, basically the way it works is each turn you get an extra gem, so you can use more powerful cards as the game progresses. And you start off with 1 gem, and then
It's like Magic the Gathering, kind of dumbed down, because you don't have to worry about your lands being
It's like the Yu-Gi-Oh compared to Magic. They really dumbed that shit down.
So the amount of times
cards to get beat up.
The amount of times I've started this game with a 7, a 6, and a 5, and thought, well, I can't use them for quite some time. I might as well swap them out for something else. I swap all of them out, and I got a 4, a 5, and a 6, and I'm still there going, well, I'm fucked.
I get a lot of 3 and 4s.
I edited my deck to where it is mostly 3s and 4s.
My deck's got a fair amount of 1s. And then it kind of slopes down a bit, so there are less 7s than there are. Well, Gary and I still use the same character that you start off with, that blue bint. Can't remember it.
I guess I got past that, because I ground on it pretty hard.
But anyway. Yeah, so I've been playing that a bit, and I've actually started enjoying it. You know, in the past, I was like, card games, well, it's got to be poker or top trumps, and, you know, physical cards. But I'm actually getting into this one, which is a little bit weird, and I know loads of people have said that about, you know, oh, it's getting me into digital card games. I've never really, but yeah, you know, I've never really, it's a bit like when I started playing Guild Wars 2, it was like, I never really liked MMOs, but this one's alright.
I think it's fun for people that have never played it. It'll definitely be something for them to use, because it's easy enough that you can do it without thinking too much, and it can be complex enough where you can really get into it.
That's easy to learn, hard to master.
Yeah.
And relies a bit on chance, depending on the deck you've built.
There's a lot of chance with, especially, we'll get into whenever I play, like, get into my stuff. I
mean, you could build a deck with, you could build a deck with, purely tier 5 cards.
But
and if the guy you were playing against was crap, you could still win against them, but you'd have to wait 5 turns before you could draw that first card. There's other stuff you can do as well, and you get a card each turn, so you might end up with cards that
you gotta throw away.
Yeah. No, I mean, just starting off with 3 5-tier cards.
Oh, yeah.
You could feasibly still win with that.
I mean, technically, if you choose to go second, you'd only have to wait 4 turns to play your first card, because when you choose to go second, you get that free gem.
You also get the cards when you have your turn.
True.
So, yeah. There's, you know, it's a bit like, I wouldn't say chess, maybe drafts. Or checkers. You know.
Easy.
Never played that. Sounds dull. What else have I played? I'm going to leave the one that I know Gary's played till the end, so we can do a nice little sweet segue into that. I did buy a ship. I spent $70 on Star Citizen. It was $65 for the ship and possibly a wasted $5 because I'm not entirely sure if the $65 included the alpha access or not. But anyway, I'm guaranteed to get into it. And I was hoping to have started playing it by this show, but unfortunately, it's been delayed. Well, I say it's been delayed, but when they say we hope to get it out by this day, then I guess technically that's not a delay because they never set it in stone with the date it was coming out. And I'd rather
a firm maybe.
Yeah, I'd rather play it.
Up.
As an alpha participant, I'd rather play it with less bugs in that I have to report. But apparently it's coming soon. How soon is now? I don't know.
Near you.
Well, whenever it's an alpha, it should be like a full game, and then whenever it reaches beta, it should be better than a full game, since they got
alpha shouldn't be
however
full.
Many. Full
Broforce.
Damn.
That was one that I started playing. That's neither here nor there.
They broke 44 million recently, so yeah, they've more than funded the game and anything else they want to add to it. And
$44,297,785 right now, with 656,923. Well, they call them star citizens, so people.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
$70 of that is mine. Well, was mine. So all I've got at the moment is the hangar where I can see my ship, walk around it, get in the ship, and sit in the pilot's seat and look at the consoles and take screenshots of the ship and stuff, which may or may not have annoyed my co-host. Well, no, it has annoyed you, hasn't it, Gary? Because I got a tweet from you the other day saying stop putting up these...
Oh, that was this morning, at like 6 in the morning.
Something along the lines of stop putting up these... let me get the...
I was kind of joking, but it looks really, like, good for, not being done. And then, what'd you say, Dan? They, like, made fucking trailers of every single
Well, not every
ship.
single ship, but a few of the ships. I think there's 7 or 8 videos for some of the different ships. And
it's like
it looks like an advert for a ship.
It looks like an advert for a car, or like basically a car commercial where, like, do you want power? Do you want this?
I say it's 7 of them, but some of those 7 are director's cuts of the adverts for the ships. But yeah, the tweet was, if you put up any more pretty pictures and I end up spending a lot of money on this game, I won't be happy. As if the trailer wasn't cool enough. And apparently you're looking at the Hornet F7C.
There's a Hornet F7C, and I cannot find it. I was looking at my phone. I don't know where it is on here because I'm on site right now. They have that one, and then there's the F7C Ghost, and then there's another F7C, and I can't... Wait, no, there's F7C, there's... Where's it at?
They're
F7C
different versions
Plus.
of the same ship.
Yeah, and what... the other one's called Tracker. But there's the F7C Ghost, and the Tracker. And the Ghost is for complete, like, stealth and crap, and then the Tracker's the complete opposite, where it, like, finds, these kind of ships and stuff.
Tracks stuff.
And, well, the Ghost is a little bit more expensive than what Dan spent.
Yeah, it's almost double the price, isn't it?
Well, the regular F, this is why I'm kind of looking at the different ones, because it goes from like 125 to 140. Actually, I think the most expensive one was like 160, I don't know. But yeah, one's 125, one's 140. I guess I should look into them before I make a decision. Since I don't have to worry about playing it today, I haven't actually really looked.
But if you are interested in the game and you want to get in on the alpha for the arena thing that's going on, please bear in mind that at the moment there are only 3 ship types you can use. They are the Hornet, the Aurora, and the 300i. I don't think it matters which variations of the 3 you use, but you can't use any other of the ships.
Okay, I finally found these ships. So it goes F7C, F7C Plus, Ghost, and Tracker, which goes from 125, 140, Ghost is 140 also, and then the Hornet's 155. And then I was looking a little bit further and looked at the Constellium, or Constellation, sorry.
Castilian. Oh, Constellation, yeah.
That's 275.
And if you want to spend, $2,500, you can get all 20 ships that exist at the moment, plus a bonus ship.
I'm not rich.
But
this description says, have spacecraft, will travel. This game package includes a state-of-the-art Constellation multi-person spacecraft that's nothing like anything you've ever flown in a space sim. Crew it with an AI gunner or invite your friends along to embark into a bold new universe. I was like, damn, I could get me and Dan in this ship.
Well, yeah, but then I've got my own ship. It doesn't fit in a gunner, but it does have plush leather interior.
Okay.
That's a woman getting ship.
Right, the ship I bought, which is a $65 pledge, and then I'm not entirely sure if I needed to spend the $5 for alpha access, but anyway, it's only $5, so it's not too much of a problem. There are different versions of that shit. I've got the base model, and there's like the race version, there's something else version, and I'm like, whoa, the race version's got 2 engines and it's really fucking quick. So I went for the cheap version, which has basically there's the race version, the something else version. The race version's a lot quicker, the something else version has more storage, and mine's the one that isn't as quick and doesn't have so much storage, but it's got more storage than the race version and is faster than the storage version. So.
And this is the reason I kind of wanted to talk, because I wanted to know, I mean, it's not going to be on the podcast, but, which version I should just go for.
Well, should we talk about that once we finish the podcast? So
that's what I just said. But the one thing I wanted to say about this Constellation, why I was like, ooh, because it comes with, a spaceship-shaped USB drive, spaceship blueprints, beta access, Star System digital download, 6 months, and I don't know what the insurance is. I'm guessing if your ship blows up.
Basically, if your ship blows up, is it like 4 months insurance?
It's 6.
6 months.
And then it says,
if you lose your ship, you can get it.
Hold on a second now. You gotta pay insurance for a virtual thing? Like that's
have you ever
real
heard
money
of,
insurance?
Have you ever heard of oh god, what's it called? Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eve is a little bit more ridiculous.
When you're playing the single player, well, I say single player is massively online, way more massive than an MMO. When you lose your ship, you lose your ship.
Like on Eve.
And so you can use in-game credit to purchase insurance to get your ship replaced. It's just because we pre-purchase stuff, we get a bit of free insurance chucked in.
Okay.
And also, it's not permadeath, but they haven't settled on how many times, but if you die a certain amount of times, that character will no longer exist.
That's interesting. Not being afraid of dying.
You can leave stuff to the next character, so it's not terrible. But no, it's
like Rogue Legacy.
Yeah, only you shouldn't be dying so much. If you're dying that much, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
says you.
Which is one of the reasons I wanted to get into the alpha, so I can get used to the controls. I can start shooting the crap out of shit and punching my weight and, not getting fucked.
Alright, let me finish this up real quick. What else comes with this? And if this was bigger, if it was like 12 inches, it would have made it probably would have been 100% perfect. Yes. But it's a 3-inch model of spaceship. I was like, oh.
That's pretty small.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not gonna pay.
I mean, considering the size of the ship I've got, which isn't a big ship, a 3-inch model of that ship would put it on the scale of micro machines.
It's no Titan. Anyway, but you get the Star System manual, and then this is kind of cool, the deluxe silver collector's box, and then a glossy fold-up star map, and hardback making a Star System.
Is it a physical manual or the digital manual? So I get the digital manual.
Yeah, this says digital manual, but you get a glossy fold-up star map and the making.
I get a digital star map, and you know what I could do if I wanted to do? I could print it out on some glossy fucking paper.
You won't
anyway,
that up.
Needless to say, I don't have the money Gary's got, but I am really excited about that game. But I have been tooling about with some other stuff. One thing I haven't been playing because I haven't been able to log in since Watch Dogs came out is Trials Frontier. Just can't play online. And yeah, I know you can play it offline, but I'm at the stage where I really need to upgrade the bike, and you can't upgrade your bikes or use the Fruit Machine thing to get you extras without being online, so I haven't bothered playing it.
That's interesting.
I have been playing another Ubisoft game, actually. The CSI Android game, Hidden... I don't know what the fuck it's called. Some CSI game that links in with I've kind of been enjoying it. It's easy as fuck. It's one of those things, they get a list of things you've got to spot on the screen, and you just tap them.
Oh, why don't you get Midnight Mysteries? Those are fun. And they're on the PC.
And then you get to interrogate people and put
don't get to
together
interrogate.
stuff like that. And well, you don't really get to interrogate people in this either. You just click to it, tap it to interrogate them, and then you just read the text, and that's about it. And then at the end of the game, you've got a load of suspects, and you've got the evidence, and you've got to choose which one you think's guilty. 9 times out of 10, that's pretty freaking easy. But yeah, it's something to do whilst I'm waiting for my fuel to recharge in Trials, along with Netflix. What else have I been playing? Well, not that much, apart from one game that Gary and I have both played recently, and that was episode 4 of season 1 of The Wolf Among Us.
And we were supposed to play this with Kryptonians, Mr.
Yeah, alright. We were supposed to play it a day before that as well, but I got pissed. And by that I mean drunk, not angry.
Yeah, it's not like when Gar gets pissed.
No, I got really drunk, and then a couple of mates came to my house, and we got... By the time I got on, Gary was in bed. This is about 4 a.m. my time. We should have been 11 o'clock your time, you slacker.
No, it was 9 o'clock that I got off. I was watching some Attack on Titan before I went to bed.
Yeah, nothing happened. And so we ended up, having a chat with Kryptonians that's...
he was all excited. We're like, yeah, we're going to play it together.
And I think what put him off was just saying, I was thinking about recording it. And then he never turned up.
Oh, don't worry, I got pissed off last night trying to fucking record. Still doesn't work.
I think there's probably something really fucking simple they haven't done, but...
I just watched the guy do the whole thing, and it worked perfectly fine for him. Doesn't work for me.
Anyway, Wolf Among Us. This episode, I guess we're gonna kind of segue Gary's and mine, because it's pretty much the one game we both played. I found it felt really short. I think it took us, an hour and 20
minutes, yeah.
breaks?
Yeah, well, it was a pretty short break. It was only like 3 minutes, but yeah. Still, hour 20.
Not really action-packed. And for me, didn't really drive the story that much.
No, it was kind of boring.
I mean, there were some interesting things going on, but there wasn't really a huge amount to get me kind of really into it and going for it. But
you finally meet the antagonist, but
yeah,
that wasn't much.
No, and it just
it wasn't any Walking Dead season 1. Oh shit.
Yeah, but until this last episode, I've been looking forward to it and enjoying it more than Walking Dead Season 2. But this episode, it really felt like they dropped the ball.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed.
Okay, the character you're playing, he really isn't up to doing a lot of stuff because of shit that's happened. I'm desperately trying not to spoil it for people who I know listen that haven't played it yet and really want to play it.
So far, we haven't said anything. If there's a spoiler, I'll just put in like a long beep.
Yeah. And it does affect the way that you're playing that episode because of what's happened in previous episodes.
Let me tell you what, the thing that happens at the beginning,
But I am kind of pussyfooting around the main thing I want to talk about and can't. But it didn't feel like, the previous episodes, there's always been something that's made you go, oh wow man, that was freaking awesome. Or, holy shit, that was...
My biggest thing is every episode's had that, oh god, I want to play the next one.
Yeah.
This one didn't have that. This is
the first episode where it's ended in a whimper rather than a bang, and you've been like, And yeah, there's interesting stuff to come, but it's one of those... It's kind of like a mid-season episode of a series, but it's the penultimate episode in this series. Shit should be going on, Stuff should be happening to make you go, shit, I really want to see how this ends up. And it's the 4th episode of 5, and you're kind of like,
Yeah, that's better, the 5th episode better drive this shit home.
Oh yeah, and it better last a bit longer than an hour and a bit.
Man, I was saving all for the last episode. It's gonna be like a 4-hour episode.
No, I don't expect 4 hours, but I think the average
2.5. I went 2.5.
For most people playing season 1 of The Walking Dead, I think most people spent about 2 hours an episode on average.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is a good size. Just like these podcasts.
Yeah, and it's just like this one. It just felt like the B team was doing it, and they hadn't really figured out this part of the story. I'm hoping the ending's going to be epic.
Oh, I bet.
If it continues the way episode 4 has,
I'll be so disappointed.
I can't see people wanting to buy season 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I have absolutely loved The Wolf Among Us, and until playing the latest episode, I have enjoyed it more than season 2 of The Walking Dead. But now I felt really let down by the last episode. Yes, there's some interesting stuff, but it's all good.
Anything else for you, Dan?
No, I can think of. And this section's really fucking long.
And we haven't even gotten to me yet.
Right.
So I'm going to start on mine. Wolf Among Us, episode 4, a little bit disappointed. It was, sad.
It was alright.
Yeah, it's still good, but I was not as happy.
No.
Or crazy about it.
Considering how well it started off.
Yeah. So next game, Yoshi's New Island. I played that where we were going down to see the new X-Men movie, and kind of glad they fixed their debacle with X3, which is nice. I would say it's good enough to go see, so go see it. The day, right after I put the podcast up on Monday, I went back on the Wolfenstein and Wolfenstein New Order, and I beat that in probably another hour. I was on the last mission area pretty much, and it actually made me sad at the end. Like this, high action, Wolfenstein game actually had a good story to it, and it kind of made me feel sad what happened at the end. So, I had no hype for this game. I was just like, yeah, it's Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein's cool. Maybe it'll be pretty good. It kind of looks good. And then I started playing it. The story was awesome. And then, I really started getting into the story, and like you get to this kind of safe house kind of place, and it's basically your hub world. It's like kind of your rest from all the shooting and stuff, and you'll spend like 15-20 minutes there, or however long you want to take, kind of just going through the different rooms and whatnot. And it's just that like little break you need whenever you just got out of a large mission or something. And it doesn't happen all the time. You don't always go back to this place. You go back to about 3 times throughout the game, I would say. And it's just really nice. But yeah, that game is really awesome. I would say play it. And then, oh, damn, Leslie, I'll wait for that. So I said last week about Scribblenauts Unlimited and how I kind of want to play Scribblenauts Unmasked.
Mm-hmm.
I went on Steam today and went, holy shit, Scribblenauts Unmasked is 75% off. I picked it up.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah.
I heard you say that, and then you bought it.
Yep. So
I'm still sitting here in my Steam wallet, considering whether or not I want to add the funds to buy Payday 2 and all of its DLC, and then just give it a trial by fire, because I know it looks fun. I've watched people play it, and I really fucking
Did you play the first one?
No, but that was
That was
another
pretty
one
good.
where
Actually, I
I'd
don't
sit
think I
there on
played it.
YouTube and watch people play it, because that was back in my looking for a job. Jesus Christ, I'm so fucking broke. I hate myself.
Well,
Gamer days.
The
if
thing
you
is-
do pick it up, I'll pick it up. Dan has it, and I know somebody else we know has it, I'm sure. And we can play 4-player. So, Scribblenauts, finally. So I play a little bit of that. You meet Batman, and I did a couple things, and I got off of that. And then I went on to, I just saw it was finally on sale today, Among the Sleep. Picked up Among the Sleep. You play as a 2-year-old child, and I'll talk about it more next podcast because we kind of went on way too long about other stuff. But you play as a 2-year-old child with this teddy bear. I'm guessing you just call him Miss Teddy Bear, I don't know. And it's really interesting so far.
You
It's
said it was
pretty
like
awesome.
a board game, right?
It's a first-person survival horror game, which I said survival. I was telling the wife what it was.
Okay,
you play
and
a
you
2-year-old.
misspoke to board game, I think you said. Because I heard the words board game at one point in time, and I got confused, and then
I
you
have
asked
no
if I ever
idea.
played a horror board game.
No, I think you heard wrong. Just like the wife. Who- I said you play a 2-year-old and it's a survival horror, and she thought I said survival orgy.
Oh. Oh,
And I
that's
was
what
like,
it
yes.
was. Yeah, then you asked me if I ever played Survival Orgy. I was like, not on the computer.
Yeah.
but
And
I
I
hope
was
you
like,
one day.
and I started thinking, I was like, would survival orgy for a 2-year-old be like mommy and daddy having sex in the next room? You think daddy strangling mommy or something? Anyway.
Daddy, are you hurting mommy? Not yet.
But, yeah, I'll talk about Among Sleep next podcast because I'll probably finish it by then. It's pretty good.
What's it that the little sisters call the big daddies in Bioshock?
Little sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah, what
They call them
Well-
Mr. Bubbles.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah, Mr. Bubbles, yeah.
Or Mr. B, depending on the little sister.
Yeah.
Come play, Mr. B. And he's there.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving along, I played some Watch Dogs. I did the opening mission basically, and I'm finding out, or it's gonna be a little bit difficult to hack and drive at the same time. It's not hard. It's like a button press, but you have to hold down the button, and you have to know what you're gonna do. And I think if you bring up the if you look at the trailers, he brings up like little barriers, and he goes through with a bike, and then the car crashing into it. If you're driving a car, you have to kind of time that right, or you're gonna crash yourself probably. So that wouldn't be good. I'll do more. I was gonna play that before the podcast, but then I got into Among Sleep way too much. The last thing I played is Hearthstone. And I just started playing it because Dan and Lee were like, yeah, play it. And I went through the tutorial.
Twice.
Yeah, I went through in the U.S. because I think Teflon's on the U.S. server, and I went through on the. I played one online match because Teflon. Lee was like, "Yeah, you should just go on that." I went right into it. Beat my first guy. I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And it was a pretty close match. He had I had 7 left. He had nothing left in the end. And then I went through the tutorial the next day and went straight in. Didn't have any good cards or anything. Went against Dan. I beat Dan.
Yeah, you kicked my fucking ass. Do you know why?
I got lucky
the
at
first
the end.
starting cards, I had a load of high-end cards, and so I swapped them out, and I
so
got a
did
load
I.
of high-end cards, and I'm like,
I had a 4, a 3, and a 4. So,
I'm guessing Lee's a little shit. A little bit of shit. I don't know. I didn't mean Lee's a little shit. I meant Lee's a little bit of shit at the game. Because he said, "Oh, do you want me to throw a few games so you can get some cards?" I was like, "Well, let's see what goes on. Yeah, let's see if I can play it." And it was the first game I won. I was like, "Oh, thanks for letting me win." He was like, "No, truly, you legitimately kicked my ass then." I went, "Oh, all right." And then we play it next time, and I kick his ass. "Oh, thanks for letting me win." Like, no, you did kick my ass again. I'm like, "Hey, play against Gary, fucking slaughtered."
Yeah, I got so lucky at the end. Dan was doing really good. I had no cards on the field. I got super lucky. I didn't pull out a fireball at the end. I pulled out the one that takes 3 damage off of you. Was that?
Yeah, and then with that and the minions you had, you just annihilated me.
No, I didn't have any minions. Maybe. No, never mind. That was the next game. Yeah,
No,
I pulled out the one that took 3 damage off of him, and I had enough to take a fireball, I think, at Dan, and I took him down. I'm probably going to get these two mixed up, but right after I did Dan...
Either way, you kicked my fucking ass.
I felt so good. With, no better cards or anything. And then, I got, I leveled up or whatever first time for winning and all this stuff. And then Duke from the Veteran Gamers, while I was playing Dan, he's like, "Yeah, you want to play some Hearthstone?" I was like, "Okay, let me finish this up with Dan." And I was like, he's totally going to kick my ass. He's using a different character. He's probably been playing for a while or whatever. And he was destroying me so bad. I had 7 or 6 health left. And he had 21. Somehow, I had a few cards. I had, he had a couple with higher health too. So I was like, shit, I'm never going to do this. I had a card that, I was trying to pull out stuff with higher defense and stuff with taunt. So he would, have to attack me. Yeah. So I went after him, with those, try to save myself. And then I pulled out something that does 1 damage to every enemy monster on the field. Took out 3 of his things. I had another 2 out. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, okay. For his,
Long
I had a whole bunch.
Sure.
No. Have this. I had a bunch of monsters out at the end. He only had one card he could pull out anymore because he was just getting 1 card every turn or whatever. And I took 12 health off at once, and then he pulled out a monster with taunt to try to save himself. I took that one out. I got a fireball card. Used the fireball card, took him down to 1 health, and used my damn fireball and killed him. I was like, yes!
Oh, I thought that was the match where he just ended up killing himself.
No, that's right. No.
Yeah,
that was right. He killed himself in the end.
So I was going to go, long story short, Duke committed suicide because he couldn't beat you.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And I'm not a fan of card games. I've never played any card games at all on the computer. I love Top Trumps and poker, but I don't like poker digitally because I don't have enough money to waste to lose to play proper for money poker on the computer. But if I did, I probably would, because whenever you play it on like free-to-play games and everyone's got the same amount of chips, everyone just makes ridiculous freaking bets because they're not trying to play it properly.
If you're not spending real money, you don't care. That same thing I have with like Poker Night 2. I spent all my chips, and if I lose, oh well. But
in Hearthstone, because there's not really anything to win apart from XP.
Well, unless you go to tournaments or arena or whatever.
Well, yeah, I know, but the level we're playing at, you win XP basically, and everyone wants to win the match to get more XP, and that's kind of, it's not gambling, but that's what you're going for. So you play as good as you can. But if you're playing on a poker game where everyone's got, let's say for the sake of the argument, 2,000 credits and it means nothing, there's nothing to stop anyone going all in on the draw of the cards. And that's not how you play poker properly. You know, you need to look at the cards. You need to figure out the percentages of you winning against anyone else. You need to know what the hell's going on. And yeah, you need to do that with Hearthstone, but because you're not actually gambling fake or real money on it at the level we're playing, well, there's no gambling in it anyway. Even if you get to the top tier of it, you're just playing to win the prize pool. You're not playing with money you've put down. And it's all about the deck you've built, the way you play the game, what you do with the cards you've got. And it's
anyway,
good.
Okay, cutting you off, we gotta finish this. We're going way too long. So, I played 3 more online matches, got fucking destroyed. People had way better cards than I had. So pissed. And then I haven't played since, but I want to go back, but I'm playing other stuff and blah, 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 blah.
And
but, yeah. So, I don't, that's it for what we've been playing. Nick may be back, I'm not sure. But he had to go cook some food, so we will be back in a little bit. And I'll play a little bit of music, and we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so we are back and it's time for some news. I'm going to start first, and it's kind of good, I think that we're doing this because it's right before E3 and everything, and just kind of talk about the Xbox One and the PS4. So these are 2 reviews that were done from Otaku, and I'm kind of going to go over the bullet points they have, and we're going to put in our thoughts and everything about it. We can't be too good with it just because, well, neither of us have either of them.
And I haven't read the articles.
I'm not even worried about what's in the article. I just like seeing the bullet points and putting my own words into it. So yeah, these reviews, the first bullet point they have about the Xbox One still hasn't found its footing, and well, you can kind of put that as they've taken everything out of what they said they're gonna have. Recently is Kinect, which our next point is I've lost faith in Kinect, which I'm sure a lot of people have because, well, they just got rid of it, and since nobody needs to have it anymore, it doesn't matter.
I had the first one and it was fucking shit. I lost faith in it years ago.
Well, apparently this one's supposed to be a lot better and everything, but yeah.
Well, what gets me is, if you go back to the 360 and the PS3, the Xbox was pretty much the core gaming machine, and the PS3 was trying to be the home hub for playing everything. That's kind of what they were trying to do. And now it seems like they swapped round, and the PS4 is like, oh yeah, we're for gamers. Everything's gaming related. It's freaking awesome. And the Xbox One's kind of like, okay, yeah, we do all this stuff as well, and we've got the camera, and it's all awesome, man. And actually, none of it really works properly. It's kind of they've gone away from the thing. The original Xbox was all about the games. And the Xbox 360 was a fair bit about the games, and now it's just not really about the games anymore. It's just about having another box in your sitting room that does everything. And they're trying to take you, why buy this, and this, when you can just have this for more than it costs to buy a Blu-ray player. And,
I've heard people say, like, about the whole TV stuff, that it would be nice if it would take the place of their TV box instead of plugging your TV box into it, because apparently it lags from that device through the Xbox onto the TV. Yeah. So it's not very good. And
do you know what the answer is?
Don't use the Xbox for your well, still, you're not hooking your
No, honestly,
TV box
it really
is. I'm not hooking my TV box into a PC. I'm just hooking it into my TV.
Yeah, I've hooked my PC into my 32-inch screen, and I just watch whatever the hell I want.
Yeah, well, you don't have TV either, like, well, I don't know what you guys have over there, but like Comcast
I don't watch live
whatever,
TV because I don't have a TV license, and that's the way I can watch. I can't watch live TV, but let's face it, the amount of times there's something live that you actually want to watch there and there is not that often.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do that, though.
Oh, I know there are a lot of people that do that, but for most of the main channels in the UK, I can just wait an hour or so and it's there on the internet. Mm-hmm. And if it's something in the States that I can't get in the UK, then yes, I'll put my hand up. I do acquire it. And I watch Game of Thrones before anyone else in the UK that doesn't do what I've done. I'll admit to that.
And they haven't done it lately.
Well, no.
Talk about it to you.
I also haven't seen any of this series of Game of Thrones because I'm waiting till the end of it, and then I'm going to watch the lot in bulk because that's the way to watch it.
Spoilers: people die. That's funny because I just saw a tweet from. It's not actually George R.R. Martin. It's just somebody that kind of made a Twitter account with his name. And he tweets Kim Kardashian, and I can't remember who the guy she married or whatever, even though he's pretty famous. He's like, I don't understand why I wasn't invited to the wedding. I'm good at weddings.
It's kind of odd that you're in this situation where you can spoil it for me now.
Yeah, and I should.
You should do that. My memory's so fucking shit. It's not going to make the slightest bit of difference. So,
I'm sure you remember one of them that I'd say because he's pretty big. Anyway, person says I like the controller more and more.
Has Joffrey died yet?
I'm not going to say either way anyway.
I've read the books.
Thought you... Then why would it matter? Then why would it matter what I said?
Because I'm taking the piss. I haven't read the books, but Joffrey's got to die at some point, right?
I would kill him. He's a dick.
I'd totally do his mother as well. Anyway.
I'm not old enough to her. Anyway.
Animal sex, yeah, that should be in the news. There's an outtake for you.
But yeah, he talks about the controller, I mean, everyone loves the Xbox 360 controller, and they just kind of made it a little bit better and everything. I still like my PS4 controller, but I've never held an Xbox One controller, so...
I have, and I thought it was what? Okay, it was like nearly a year ago before the Xbox One was out, and I was playing Battlefield 4. But I didn't like the Xbox controller at all. The Xbox One controller. Although we've been saying it wrong because the one bit is in capital letters, so it's the Xbox One! It's in capitals, that's shouting. So yeah, I don't really like the Xbox One controller at all. It feels alright, but there's something still wrong about it. And if I had the choice between the Xbox One and the Xbox 360 controller, I think I'd still go for the 360, regardless of the fact that you can't really use the Xbox One controller on a PC at the moment because they still haven't released the drivers. I do like the PS4 controller, but it doesn't. I'm not a fan of the position of the thumbsticks.
Which I still that has never bothered me. I can switch from one to the other, no problem.
Well, I can switch from one to the other, but I'd rather...
The funny thing is, using my PS4 controller on my PC is just making sure I know what A, B, X, and Y mean compared to, OX, triangle, circle.
Square.
Wait. Yeah, square. But I forgot what was it?
OX, square, and triangle, isn't it?
Yep.
Jumps to goalposts.
Yeah. Then they say the OS is too laggy and imperative, and this is where I'm going to have to read some stuff because, well, I've never used it, so I don't know. I guess it's because the whole going from, it's basically Windows 8 where it's got all the frickin' tiles and stuff, and I don't like that stuff as it is.
Alright, we're on Microsoft still, aren't we? Yeah. Well, it's 8.1 now. Still shit.
Yeah, well, same thing, still part of Windows 8.
8.1's better than 8, apparently.
But I guess the thing you can say about the operating system is they're apparently going to be announcing their DirectX 12, right?
It wasn't so long ago that they said that DirectX has got as far as it needs to be and DirectX 12 doesn't need to happen. So,
well, apparently it does compared to this. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it fucking does because AMD have released Mantle and they're like, oh, hang on a minute, we get the same results.
Shit always gets better.
Second.
I mean, it better get better.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, stuff gets better.
Most people have stopped using Snap multitasking on the Xbox One, apparently.
Yeah, which is that whole thing where, you can put up, say, Skype on one side and something else on the other.
It's about like using Windows 7 where you have one browser on one side and the other browser on the other side.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Apparently, though, the remote control makes everything better.
Which I actually did not know they had a remote control. I never saw this remote control.
Why the fuck does it need a remote control? You've got the controller, you've got Kinect.
Well, it's like the one guy said.
Smartphone using whatever the thing they have to control the Xboxes. I can't remember. Smart Glass.
Yeah, Smart Glass.
Why the fuck do you need a remote control if you've got Smart Glass, voice control, Kinect, and an Xbox One? Why do you need a fucking remote control?
Well, like the guy said earlier, he stopped liking using the Kinect, shouting at it and everything. I don't know. I don't really.
Why can't you just use Smart Glass?
I would have to see how that works with the Xbox.
I use my phone to control my computer. I go to bed, I've got a Raspberry Pi upstairs, I stream some stuff, and I've finished watching the stuff on my actually crappy old CRT TV. I can then shut down the Raspberry Pi and then turn off my computer from my bed just using my phone. Why can't I do that with Android? I can queue up stuff, create a playlist through my phone. Why would I need a remote with an Xbox One?
Well, like guy says here, he says Xbox got a Hulu Plus, or I'm guessing that, Netflix or whatever. And then I guess he just used that instead of saying, or, talking to his Xbox, it says, it looks like on the controller, or remote, it has, fast forward, rewind, play, all that kind of stuff.
But my point is, why can't you just have that on the screen of your phone with those buttons?
See, I just use the fucking controller.
Well, yeah, but I use the same thing on my mate's Raspberry Pi. And on a couple of other things. And I can have a basic remote just like that one, which looks a lot like some other remotes I've seen. And it's basically got up, down, left, right, power, change window, menu, volume up and down, channel up and down, play, stop, fast forward, rewind, skip track. Backtrack.
A bunch of stuff. We're good.
I can do all of that on my phone, on my crappy old telly with a Raspberry Pi. Okay, I can't play games on it because I haven't set it up to play games on it. But, why the hell does it need a fucking remote control? Everyone's got a phone. Surely it probably would have cost them less to release a version of the remote on using Wi-Fi or... Yeah, you might as well use Wi-Fi.
Because it's $25 extra they can get out of people.
Yeah, but they don't need that.
Money. Yeah, Microsoft likes money, though.
Yeah, but they don't
care.
need it.
You can probably do it on your phone, but they don't care. They're going to get whatever they want.
They could have it ad-supported and get a certain amount of pence per time someone used the freaking remote and saw the crappy adverts over the top and just ignored them like most people do. I keep getting adverts for meeting Asians online, and that's really fucking weird because I'd never even... I wouldn't say no, but I don't search for Asians online. I'm more of a redhead guy.
Speaking of that stuff, I completely uninstalled everything with Firefox and reinstalled it, and nothing shows up anymore. Anyway, moving on, the audio shortcomings have been fixed, and it says Microsoft has added Dolby support to the Xbox One's optical audio output. Woo, don't know how it sounds compared to how it did sound.
There's this one bit that we've glossed over about the OS being too laggy and impenetrable.
Well, we kind of talked about it a little bit, like with how it was...
you can't even see how much drive space you've got left. That's fucking ridiculous.
You can't go into settings and see that?
No. It's really cumbersome to navigate your friends list or tweak settings. It's horrible. You'd think that they would have learnt something from their mobile OS, but yeah, apparently not.
Oh, don't worry, the Xbox 2 will have something, I'm sure.
So the Xbox 2, that would be the 360?
Sure.
So that's going to be the 720, I guess.
I don't care what they're going to do next.
The Xbox 2. Perhaps they'll call it the Xbox B. No, that won't. Oh, well.
It'll be something hopefully better than them screwing up being the Xbox One.
The Xbox better than it was last time. Slightly.
They have a lot more crap to it. And probably more ads, I don't know. I'll get an Xbox One eventually, I'll let you know. Probably in the next year or so.
Dude, why?
Next year, probably.
Why would you buy... of all of the next gen... Oh, the exclusives. Woo, okay, because so many of them are brilliant.
That's the only reason I'm going to get it. That's the only reason I get
so
anything.
Many of them are brilliant.
6.
Most of them are shit. But, for actually playing games, if you've got to have a console, and you really are worried about how good it looks, regardless of the story, you've got to go for a PS4. And if you don't care how it looks, but you want a decent story, you've got to go for a Wii U. There's no point in buying an Xbox One.
PS4 is my next one. I got a Wii U, the 360, the one's going to be the last one I go for probably when Halo comes out is probably when I'll probably get it next year. The last console I bought was a GameCube. I got it second hand a few years ago. But my GameCube.
No, I still need to finish Mario Sunshine and The Wind Waker. But,
Anyway, this guy says, I wish the consoles were smaller. I don't care. I like the size of consoles. I like that big bulky thing because it looks cool. Xbox Record that is my favorite, and I've heard this from a bunch of people. That's like one of the main things they use. And whenever they got rid of the Kinect, well, one video I saw, like some guy was saying, you have to have a button to do this now because, that's like the main thing I use my Kinect for, and then I will sell my Kinect.
The interesting thing is, it turns out that possibly getting rid of the Kinect will actually make the Xbox One a bit more powerful. And I'm guessing that it's doing all the processing console side rather than Kinect side.
Which is just, I don't know, because people with Kinect, what are you going to do? You're going to say they're not going to be able to run this game right unless they unconnect the Kinect? Disconnect?
No, it just won't utilize the Kinect, but people that have the Kinect will be able to play, shit like, crappy sports games and, a modern version of tubing. Do you remember tubing? A game where you were in this big rubber ring and you basically controlled the arms of the character so you could navigate down this rapid. Yeah, it'll be a modern version of that. Tubing.
I did something on Kinect Sports that you kind of held your arms out and you're in a tube and you jump and I don't know.
I played the dinghy one, where one guy, if there were two of you, one person would paddle on one side, the other person would paddle on the other, and there'd be jumps and stuff, and you have to put your arms up to collect coins and all this crap.
Yeah, I did something like that. It wasn't that game, but it was basically...
The best I've had with Kinect was playing Mass Effect 3, and I had a go at voice commands. It was like Garrus, cover fire, whatever it was, but I ended up just using the controller because it was quicker and easier than trying to remember the commands.
Mm-hmm. And then if it didn't understand, you're like, fuck.
I didn't have that issue, but then I suppose apparently I sound quite posh and terribly English. So it worked fine. But then I do tend to enunciate words properly. And use words like enunciate.
Anyway, the Upload Studio is not my favorite. Don't know much about the Uploads. Yeah, he doesn't really say much about the Upload Studio, except he doesn't like it. It doesn't work too well. I don't know. My Kingdom for an Xbox screenshot command. He wants a screenshot command for his, or something to push on his controller instead of using Kinect, I'm guessing. The games are better, but and this is the part that's going to kind of take us in. Well, let's see. The Xbox One is less of a sure thing than okay, I don't care about that. The games are better, but they are still coming. Still aren't there yet, and this is what's going to take us in the PS4 because they both have the same thing. And well, they're still kind of early on, of course, and we'll see at E3 what happens with both of these to see what kind of games they're going to bring out. I mean, PS4 has Order 1886, which looks pretty cool. Halo 5 doesn't come out till next year.
Almost a year after its release, it still doesn't feel like a must-have.
Well, it's not a year yet; it's only 6 months.
Yes. Well, okay, a year, almost a year to its announcement. It still doesn't. It's still in its first year, and almost this time last year it was announced. So we're coming up close to E3. And yeah, it doesn't feel like a must-have console. It doesn't feel like, the original Xbox when that got released, or the PS2 for that. Oh yeah, PS3.
Well, you might as well say the Wii U as well. The
Wii U.
Right either.
Out of all the, I guess I'll lump it in with current gen. If I had the cash, I'd probably get a Wii U over a 360. Sorry, not a 360. Over a Xbox One or a PS4.
Well, I kind of think Nintendo may put a price drop of $50 on the Wii U this year. So we will.
I can see it at some point pushing the $200 mark.
I think that's going to take a little bit more. I mean, it's not going to happen this year. Maybe next year. I think what they're going to do is they're just going to take $50 off a year.
Yeah.
Because it took $50 off was it last year? Yeah, it was. And they're probably going to take $50 off this year.
Yeah, they're either going to
be the console,
They're either going to drop the price significantly, or they've kept something super fucking secret and they're going to wow us at E3. I don't see that.
See, that's what I'm wanting. I want to see, for E3, I want to see them come out with, at least 3 big games that everyone has to have.
Yeah.
if you have Wii U, and that makes people want to get that Wii U. So hopefully we'll see that. I mean, Mario Kart comes out in, for me, 2.5 hours.
Been advertised?
Not too long, like a month, maybe. I don't watch TV, so.
Didn't we see E3 last year?
I'm sure they talked about it and showed gameplay and all this stuff. But it's finally coming out this month. Now, advertisements being TV advertisements, apparently they're going to have a year-long advertising campaign with Mario Kart and shit. But this is going to be their big game right now that hopefully makes people get the Wii U.
Remind me what not to watch television. I know what Mario Kart is. I know what Mario Kart 8 is. I've read enough stuff. I've seen enough stuff. I just don't have a Wii U. Stop advertising stuff that I can't afford.
Get that Wii U, you get that free game if you,
Whoop-de-fucking-do. Or I could just, not spend the money on that and buy a fuckload of PC games.
Yeah. Which I've talked to that a lot of people, or two people about, I just got Watch Dogs and, Murder Soul Suspect, both of them with a 20% off code off of Green Man Gaming for $84, so.
We didn't really touch a huge amount on Watch Dogs, because you haven't played it much.
No, I'll talk about it next week more, and we can do it then.
But, I haven't played it yet. I'm hoping that, actually, you haven't got it on Steam, have you? Because it's Ubisoft.
No, because it was Uplay, and I should have bought it on Steam. It would have been probably better. Well, let's make you play it through Uplay, then I would have been pissed.
Yeah, I'm just gonna buy it to actually get it. From everything I've read, it's not as good as it was hyped up to be, and more like GTA 5.
Yeah, well, I can't say anything yet because I really haven't played it enough. I played it for an hour.
Apparently it's very fun, which is a brilliant thing for a game. Games need to be fun.
I got my tires blown out on the first mission driving around, and I had to drive around in the car for 3 miles down the road, with this tire, because I missed my left tires, I got my right tires, and I had to drive down this tunnel and everything forever on this horrible, control because the tires were taken out.
Which has just made me think of something. If any of you listeners want us to review a game, let us know, because we haven't done a review for ages, a proper typing out tippity-tappity actual review of what we thought about the game. And yes, a lot of people think that reviews shouldn't be subjective, but the nature of them, it's got to be the view of the person playing it, because that's how the fuck you write the article. You can't be completely impartial. You've got to say what you liked and what you didn't like and where you thought there were problems. And that's how reviews freaking work. And if you don't like that, then I'm sorry, I am going to use the fact that I played this and this is what I found. But if you want us to review some games, let us know, because we kind of need to
Well, my first one I will be reviewing is probably, depending, I don't know. Depends on my right now, but Dark Souls 2 will probably be my first one, because it's just damn insane.
And they're not going to be pre-release things, because we don't have any subscriptions and we don't get games. Everything we talk about or review, we bought. Either it's been bought for us for me, by Gary, or we bought it ourselves, and we're not beholden to anyone, so we will tell you completely what we think about the game. It's not going to be, one of the things is, Gary and I have been talking about it, and we've been talking about, should we go about getting sponsorship? And we've both come to the same point of view, which is that as soon as someone sponsors us, be it a games company or a manufacturer of PC parts, let's say, for the sake of example,
I'd rather speak my mind than be
Yeah.
be held
If
by
we're
other
sponsored by
people.
Corsair and I get sent a Corsair product and I don't particularly like it, if I'm sponsored by them and they sent me the bits, I'm gonna feel like I can't really tell the truth if it's bad. So we are completely self-funded. We're not looking for funding for anyone. We just hope that you guys realise that, because it's pretty freaking important this day and age. There's so many people and so many reviewers in the pockets of other companies. It's not the point, but you can probably put that somewhere else.
Alright, let's burn through this because we still got more news to get through and we're taking way too long in the first bit. Okay, early impressions were correct, thank goodness, and this person talking about how how the PS4 was working. And what I want to say is, from what I've seen, at least through news-wise, I haven't seen like the PS4 going, doing a bunch of different stuff, so that's how I'm going to take it. Is, PS4 hasn't done much different. And I'm guessing, I have a feeling their statement whenever they come out on stage is like, we have kept true to what we said last year.
Yeah.
And then,
it wasn't really anything.
Yeah, Microsoft is going to be, we gave you what you wanted, so get your dick out of our ass now.
We gave you the PlayStation 4 and Microsoft and Sony gave you the Xbox One. It really is like they've swapped over.
Yeah. Being media to,
because
gaming.
the 360 was all about, it was the gaming machine, and the PS3 was all about being the home entertainment system. And
yeah, I mean, Sony came out last year saying we are for the games, and they their video was, of all these developers saying, wow, this is so easy to develop for, and then all the indies, and they just completely kind of, took Microsoft's stand on it. Yeah. And then Microsoft's like, we want one box to rule them all.
Yeah, which is what Sony did with the PS3. And it was like, well...
It only does everything, but not really.
What you really need is the best of both worlds, where you've got something that will do everything and give you kick-ass games. And, hang on. I'm getting a couple of letters coming through here now.
Couple what?
Letters.
I mean letters.
The first one, I'm getting a really strong P, and the second one, I think it's a C.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Get out of here. We're finishing this off. Some parts of the console have already gotten better. Concentration in the world. Blah, blah, blah. Let me find actually some good. Okay, some improvements are being delivered through firmware updates, and then, they're actually fixing a couple problems that they had. Especially, I haven't heard anything about the blue light of death that happened at the console's launch and shit. So that stuff stopped right away, which is good. And they're only getting better. I haven't seen too much bad about it and whatnot. And we'll just, but there are some warning signs that some system limits are already being reached. And some bullet points this person puts is powerful as PS4 is, its operating system already chugs a bit when I'm switching quickly between games and apps. It seems to be particularly burdened by the Music Unlimited app, blah, blah, blah. The promise of playing PS4 games remotely using the PlayStation Vita remains hobbled by realities of non-lab perfect internet connection speeds. The PS4 online store is already feeling a bit cluttered, which, well, they said all that shit about it and stuff, so they're gonna, I'm sure they're just throwing everything they can on it.
So, in summary, ain't no PC.
Which, I guess I'll say that about it feeling cluttered. With PC Steam, I just heard, I think it was Game
Steam
Enthused.
Is fucking cluttered. Yeah. There's a hell of a lot of shite on there, but read the reviews. The ones you
apparently, Steam has put out in the first half of this year just as many games as it did all of last year. Yeah. So that's ridiculous.
The reason why they've done that is because they're closing the whole kind of green light system.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just pretty much giving everything the green light so they can clear the backlog and start with...
I'm sure it's not everything. It's probably a lot.
It's not everything, but there is a lot of fucking shite.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's a lot of stuff that's gotten a little higher than others, like, say, the top 100 instead of, like, top 10.
No.
Yeah.
There's been some absolute fucking shite. So shite.
I haven't played any.
That Valve have actually refunded everyone, saying this game doesn't fulfill the contract details.
Wow.
Yeah, they've been terrible.
Okay, next thing with PS4. Remote play from PS4 to Vita is more useful than it seems, and I've heard a lot of people talk about how they like using the remote play on the PS Vita. Did you want to say something about something else?
No, I was going to say the next bit of news, as you can tell, Gary and I are talking significantly quicker because we've taken so freaking long over this part of the show, and the next bit's from Bethesda.
Hold on, I haven't finished PS4. The big hold-up is still the games, and that's the thing I talked about. You just don't need a PS4 in your gaming life yet, but we're getting closer to the day, it seems, that you will. And that probably goes with the games as well. We need to see games at E3 on both these consoles to figure out what we are doing. Now, Dan, go with your Bethesda news.
Okay, well, the next bit of news is from Bethesda. Woohoo! We all fucking love Bethesda, don't we? Well,
yeah, we do.
Anyway, their newest game, apparently it's a bit like Team Fortress, but without guns. Anyway, the new game is coming from their fairly new studio called Battlecry. And the game in development is called Battlecry. Anyway, Battlecry is going to be a free-to-play, third-person, 32-player team action combat game for the PC. And that sounds freaking awesome because, hey, Bethesda! Basically, sounds a lot like Team Fortress, but without guns. A little bit interesting, could be fun.
Slicey, slicey.
Yeah. So, during a presentation in Los Angeles 2 weeks ago, Bethesda's Pete Hines introduced said Battlecry Studio, and Battlecry's design director, Lucas Davis, to a group of journalists, the ravenous bastards that they are. And he said, we founded Battlecry in 2012 to sort of create how we envision what Bethesda is. Said Pete.
Bethesda is awesome, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, I don't see this game as Bethesda. I think RPGs is Bethesda, but not.
Yeah, really. Lots of stuff, at least.
And so how they envision Bethesda is not RPGs, and it's not shooters. It's not survival horror games, but stuff that is fun and trying to do something different. Engaging a level of quality, in this particular case, something that catered to the free-to-play markets. They did so in the way that we don't think anyone else is. So it kind of makes hopefully they won't have that shitty fucking system where you've got to stop playing it for ages to get your fuel or whatever it is to build up.
That's car stuff.
Money.
That's not like, PC console stuff.
No, there are PC games that do that, and they're fucking annoying.
I have never played one, then.
Well, good for you, sir.
Well, I don't play many free-to-play games, I guess.
Well, apparently, on the surface, Battlecry is a TVT, team versus team, melee-focused kind of combat game. And once the beta's released next year, you'll be able to play as one of 5 different classes in one of 2 factions. Battlecry Studios promise that there will be more classes and factions to come in the future. But yeah, looking forward to trying out those. I could go on to the classes, but I think we're running out of time. So
well, we have a link that's going to be in there. Everyone that wants to see it will be able to see it.
Anyway, Gary, next up, we've got some sort of thing going on, haven't we?
This is going to be very short. I'm hoping the next couple things aren't really going to take too long because, well, there's not much to say about it. Because E3 is coming up and you'll probably see more then. But the next Battlefield game apparently has cops in it. Oh, like this stuff, it says,
Well, from what
it's
I've
called
said,
Battlefield Hardline.
from what I've seen, it sounds like you don't play as a military person.
Which is holy crap.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how fancy and Battlefield explosion like you can get with cops.
Wow, the current Battlefield, most of it's to do with espionage and taking down little cells and stuff, so it could be freaking interesting.
I think single player could be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I hope it is. It's one of the Battlefield games. I'm kind of like, hello.
We'll see at E3, I'm sure. Dan, take next one. It's going to be a short piece as well.
What's
we
this
just talked about them last week.
Delayed. Oh yeah, we talked about it last week. The Order 1886, and I was like, whoa, 30 frames per second. They liked the fact that it was 30 frames per second because it gave them the kind of star they want.
Yeah, we're not talking about that this week.
Apparently, it's really weird. The headline is, The Order 1886 delayed until 2015. And that feels like so long away, man. So far away. That's like the fucking future. But then you realise we're in 2014 and we're nearly halfway through that. And that's pretty fucking close. For me, being born in the late 70s, 2015 really does feel like we should be having sliding doors and universal trans.
Yeah, sliding doors.
Oh, we do have universal translators as well. Okay, it feels like we should have warp drive for technology. But anyway.
Hoverboards.
The PS4's apparently visually extravagant third-person shooter has been delayed until early 2015.
Which is not that big of a deal. Of course, it is one of the games that people probably just like, come on, I want to play this. This is one of the reasons why I got a PS4. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me!
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if after this they go, oh yeah, and we're releasing on other things.
No, that wouldn't happen. That is one of their exclusives. They need that. They're not going to go Ubisoft and be dicks about it. But anyway, next piece of news. If people remember this guy, he's kind of old news now. I mean, probably everyone forgot about him. Jack Tretton, PS4 guy that always went up on stage and he was awesome and he was a really cool guy.
He's the one that didn't say I like French food.
No, that was Reggie. And he wasn't with Sony. Anyway, Jack Tretton, apparently he's joining a company, Genotaur, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, it's
which is artificial,
but with a G. Senator.
Yeah, Genotaur. Yeah. Anyway, he's joining Genotaur, which is a artificial intelligence company, and this says he left with mixed feelings from Sony after 19 years and everything, and apparently Genotaur, this is a quote from him, Genotaur has an incredibly impressive array of resources and expenses that will greatly enhance the way consumers interact with technology. So, I've never heard of Genotaur. I'm going to have to look them up to actually know, who they are, and if they're making Skynet and we're all actually going to...
No, you know what the scary thing is? There's a company in Japan that makes exoskeletons for people so that you can have a smallish person caring for someone and they have the exoskeleton to lift them out of bed. And they're working on this whole kind of, well, start with the exoskeletons, but they're also working on deeper into AI and robotics. And the company is called Cyberdyne Systems. Yeah, that's fucking scary.
They're not making, I don't know.
Basically, turn into a glitchy woman, get a jeep, and raise your son on the run, and tell him the robots are going to kill us all. Because Cyberdyne Systems fucking exist. I mean, how crazy is that?
Alright, Dan. That's it for Jack Tretton. Get us out of here with the last little piece of news.
Well, this is a bit I found, because I actually did a tiny bit of work. Actually, I did more than this, but it got lost in the ether. And last show, I was talking to Gary and saying about, wouldn't it be great if we had this, that, and the other, and for the Wii U. And it turns out there's a Wii U GameCube adapter coming out.
Well, see, I knew about the GameCube controller, but I thought it was going to hook up to the Wiimote. At least what I read before, but apparently they're coming out with an adapter now, which is weird. But it's cool because it has 4 ports.
Yeah, it's great. It plugs into, it looks like the front 2 ports next to a memory card slot on the Wii U, and then it gives you 4 ports.
Yeah, it's their USB ports.
Yeah, and those 2 ports give you plug into this adapter that gives you 4 controllers. And you can use the quite frankly brilliant GameCube controller. I mean, okay, it's not the most ergonomic, but it's got plenty.
But for Smash, people love that. And then it has the Smash fucking symbol on it, and it looks really cool. And I'm sure me, my brothers, and everything,
we're
gonna get it.
What controller you plug in. But the great thing is it's going to work with the original controllers. You can use that for hopefully a load of other games as they get patched. So you can possibly play a lot of your classic games with the GameCube adapter, which would be freaking awesome.
Now, how I'm looking at this picture, I'm hoping those cords are a lot longer.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's... Well, for a start, the controller lead is a lot longer than in that photo. I think they've cut out a lot of it because no one wants to see a photo with a crap ton of wires on it. And anyway, even if they're not that long, it's pretty damn easy to extend the cable. Just add some more cable in.
Well, nobody's going to want to do that, but I don't want to come and... How that looks is like 3 foot.
No one's going to want to do that, but I would quite happily do that with a bit of duct tape. And
you don't need duct tape, you just need an HDMI or a USB.
Duct tape to keep it all together once I've twisted it all together. Anyway, enough about that. It looks like a brilliant solution to a problem that's existed for quite a while, because you could use... Assuming everything got patched, you could use that controller for pretty much every legacy game, couldn't you?
Well, this would be good, especially because I've heard stuff about them coming out with GameCube games on the Virtual Console or eShop or whatever.
Right.
So, if they have a GameCube controller, well, everyone can use a GameCube controller for it, and it'll be awesome.
Yeah, and if you've got a GameCube controller, you just need to buy the adapter and you can plug the fricker in.
You know, Nintendo's made the coolest frickin' looking controllers ever. I did not say they worked well, they look frickin' cool. You got the N64 that looked awesome back in the day. I was like, oh my god, this controller looks so cool. And holding it's a bitch. And then the GameCube controller just, I don't know. I like the look of it. It feels fine.
Was a 3-pronged bitch. You felt like you were the guy in...
You should have seen my younger brother try to hold that. He could not get the concept of holding it. Like, whenever he was really young, he just couldn't figure out how to hold that thing in his hands because, you know, he's younger.
But there were some games I remember having to switch between the two things. You know, the two kind of prong or the hand grips to play the game, and that was not brilliant.
Alright, so that's it for our news. We're gonna take a short break, and if you're still here, we're gonna clean it up and we're gonna get out of here, so we'll be back in a little bit.
If you're still here, we might just give you a medal.
Alright, so we are back, and, well, Quest of the Week. Nobody answered Quest of the Week this week, so,
Not even Teflon.
not even Teflon. He must be busy this week. He didn't even
He's
put
still got-
a check.
We've still got the books to give away as well.
Yeah, we still have that. Maybe
are
that's why
pretty
people aren't
good.
answering.
I'm going to put my hand in my pocket and buy you a book that's freaking brilliant.
That book is really good. Buy me a, or
And
get me a
we've got the
hop-
sequel to give away as well.
Yes. Yeah. VNA shipping, by the way, for you people. 1 and 2, because Dan's going to get you 1 and you're going to get 2. And it's awesome. But our next quest of the week is going to be what game would you like us to review, so we can do some game reviews. And hey, I just saw Nick's back on. Hey, Nick.
Hello.
Nice back.
Sweet. Before we go into TGM checks, what do you want to see out of E3, Nick?
Like, really, I'm game to see anything. I just don't want them to disappoint me with a bunch of, like,
Crap.
gold polished turds, you know?
Which is entirely what I want to see, because it's more Star Citizen.
Because I guess honesty is what I'd like to see at E3, and I'm not gonna get it, so. The revolution in this year's gaming. And it's gonna be, like I was saying, like, Pagel Remix, or Poggle Remix, or
No,
whatever it
The
is.
thing is, I don't know about you, but I'm not at all that excited about this year's E3. Last year, obviously, we had all the new console, well, the 2 new consoles coming out, and it's kind of like, oh, what are they going to give us? What are they going to give us? And it's like, oh, more of the same, really.
Yeah, see,
Okay,
like, what I'm excited for is the whole, I want to see some new awesome IPs and new different games. Even, like, with
I want to see Nintendo pull it out of the bag with their Direct.
Yeah, I want, like, I know people want to see, like, Star Fox and stuff like that. We really want to see some awesome
Oh, yeah, that
games brought
Steve
back and stuff as well.
A Mass Effect style RPG, Star Fox. Yeah, I would totally buy a Wii U for that.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. I think a lot of people will get a Wii U for that stuff.
I was considering getting a Wii U for a while just for, I think, Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter's awesome.
Yeah, I'd love
I mean, Pikmin, I need to play that. Actually, my brother never opened it. I got it for him. Anyway, let's move into TGM checks. Since Nick just got back and everything, we're going to have him take the first one and go on.
That would be from Filthy.
Yep.
And his TGM check, he's been playing Mafia 2, Explosion Man, Hearthstone, Civ Revolution, Plants vs. Zombies, and Racketeer.
I need to play him in Hearthstone, see how good he is. He'll probably kick my ass.
I need to pick up Civ Revolution, but that's going to be another one where I'm just stomping around the house swearing, telling people to suck my Catholic dick.
I've had Civ Revolution on my 360 for freaking ages. It's no Civ 5. Don't bother.
Or maybe Civ 5 is the one I'm thinking of. I need to get... I love those little RTS games, but they piss me off to no end. ND Arcade 89. And he's been playing Watch Dogs for the PS4, Wolfenstein for Xbox One, Tearaway, Walking Dead Season 1, and Persona 4 Golden. For the Vita.
I'm sorry, you said one of the consoles wrong, because whenever you see Xbox One,
Oh god.
it's down, it's in capital letters, so you have to shout the one bit.
Yeah, you missed
Okay.
the whole. You
Xbox
missed the whole.
One.
Yeah, the news section Dan's been shouting. I think that's gonna be the damn title of the show. It's gonna be something about like we shout
It's a
out.
fucking thing now, it's the Xbox One!
I think I want you saying that as like my new text notification. Xbox One! Oh, I got a text, guys. Give me a second.
No, I'll happily
I
pay.
will cut out one of his Xbox One things just for you.
That just beats out my little whip crack noise.
Yeah, I'll send that to you in an MP3 format.
I will not.
Dan, you'll be on somebody's phone for
I
a
know,
text
right?
message. You're like famous, man.
It's only taken me, 5 years?
Alright, so that's our TGM text this week. And now we're going to get into shoutouts since Nick is back. Who do you got to shout out this week? Other than Rage.
I guess I'd like to give a shout out to everyone from Fatal Ambition, Phil, Joe, Scott. I guess that's it. I've got no one!
Got no friends. Alright, Dan, who you got to shout out then?
Well, yeah, actually, you've just reminded me, I must say thank you to Scott. I did say I was going to send some cash, but money's been hard recently, so I haven't been able to. Anyway, shout outs to you, Nick, aka Garuin, for coming on and helping us out here. Thanks to Monty for not fricking my back up, although I did wake up this morning and yesterday morning and twisted a bit and my back clicked both times, and I've been in agony since, and it's as bad as it was.
Damn gypsies.
So, yeah, apparently I've been cursed by gypsies. I don't believe it. But, yeah, to the guys working on Star Citizen, I understand why there's a delay because, well, you're not under a publisher, and a publisher would have made you release it on the date, and I'm looking forward to playing it. I would have been happy with even the terrible problems you're having at the moment with like some of the game-breaking stuff. I still would have been able to play it. And other than that, there's people I want to shout out, but that'll be spoilers for the next show. So Gary, yourself.
Don't have too much. Garuin he got in TeamSpeak today. I'm like, would you like to do a podcast?
Or after I tried to sell you some of my fucking shit?
That was before.
Okay.
Have you had any result in selling your feces?
I've sold like three things, I think.
What I'll do is actually put the link down at the bottom of the show notes, and I'll just throw that in anyway.
Yeah, if you want to buy...
if you guys want to, I've thought about asking before, but I feel uncomfortable asking. I don't know why.
I'll just say, look at these shirts by Garuin or whatever, and, people, if they want to look at them and if they want to buy them, they'll buy them. Other than Garuin, I don't think I really have anything else. I guess I'll just do the world. The world. That's about it for me. So webfortheweek.com, where we're going to find you. We're going to go with Dan first.
As ever, I am Hardlydan pretty much everywhere apart from the odd places I want to stay, not being Hardlydan. So, Steam, Twitter, other stuff. Basically, best place to get hold of me, Steam and Twitter. So, anyway, Nick, where can we get hold of you, sir?
You can find me on Twitter, at Garuin.
Really cool.
I've got a Tumblr page up. That's wannabecolossus, tumblr.com, or tumblr.com/wannabecolossus. Is that really? And on the TeamSpeak, if you want to have me probably yell at you when we're playing a game together.
Alright, so, for me, Emerson_89 is Skype and Steam, which is basically my main area.
Unless you've got it wrong.
Nope, Emerson for those. Emerson_89 for this. Amorous1289 is my Wii U. Amorous0289 is going to be my PS3, which I will have this weekend, and I plan on starting to play some Metal Gear Solid. So, Mr. Ethan Taneko MG, I believe it is, from Nintendo, he will be happy because he's a big Metal Gear Solid fan. You know what? Amorous89 for other places. That's about it for me. So, Dan, clean us up. Tell people where they can find us.
Yeah, I know the drill. Okay, if you want to get in contact with us, we do have a Facebook page. Just put in the Gamesmen RPG on Facebook, and there'll be some mug called Ambrose89 or Hardlydan putting stuff in. Actually, it's Dan Mattman. But yeah, that'll be us. And we've also got our old Twitter accounts. That's at the Gamesmen RPG. And I was about to read out a new follower, but apparently that was last week's one, so I'm not going to even say it. I'll say them again. At Game Punchers Podcast. I have no idea how good they are. I haven't listened to them yet, but yeah, check them out. Tell
There's
them
some cool guys.
we sent you. I haven't followed you, so I don't really listen to podcasts. Yeah, I know. Bit weird. But never mind. If you want to get into contact with us, there's a couple of ways of doing it. Obviously, the aforementioned Facebook and Twitter, but there's also the RPG hotline. And if you're not in the States, don't do it this way because it'll cost you a frickin' fortune. But if you are in the States, you can call the RPG hotline at 412-267-RPG1. However, if you're not in the States and you want to send us a voicemail or give us an re-recording of your voicemail, or you just want to send us an email, you can always use our email addresses. Redundant now, but yeah, you can email us at thegamesmenrpg@gmail.com. And you know, if you're at work and you've got access to YouTube, but for some reason they're blocking you stuff, and all you can access is crap on YouTube, you can always listen to us on that. It is really just listening to us on YouTube because, well, quite frankly, we can't be asked to put other pictures and things in to do with what we're talking about.
There's one picture if you want to look at it for hours at a time.
Yeah, it's her logo. It's really dull to watch.
Well, not our logo. It's the thumbnail for the episode.
Oh, the thumbnail to that. Even less dull to more dull to watch. Even.
Hey, come on! I've spent time putting that together.
Yeah, anyway, if you want to listen to it, we've got a YouTube channel. We are putting other stuff up there as soon as I have the money for an Elgato, I'll be putting up more TGN tag-along.
As soon as I figure out how to get my TGN or my Elgato to record PC sound, I'll get more up there.
The thing is, I reckon I could do that with my eyes closed, but Gary's got the equipment and can't do it. Anyway, if you want to get hold of us on YouTube, our channel is youtube.com/thegamesmenrpg. And don't forget, if you want to get involved with the community side of stuff on Twitter, you can always reply to our TGM checks with #TGMcheck and our TGM quest with, you've guessed it, #TGMquest. We do have a Twitch stream. We haven't used it for a while, but I believe it's something along the lines of twitch.com/thegamesmenrpg.
Once I can start using my Elgato better.
Yeah. And as ever, we would love to have some iTunes reviews. We haven't had any in ages, and you can really help us out, because if you give us a good rating, we're going to become more popular on iTunes, and more people will listen to us. And if we get more people listen to us, we're more likely to give stuff away. Having said that, we are giving stuff away. We've got 2 ebooks, both of which are written by a chap that was on the show recently, and they're both brilliant. V&A shipping, and by J.R.R. Murdoch. Give them just send us something and tell us what format you want it in, be it mobi.epub.text, whatever. Just let us know, and the first person that does that will get both of the books. And I think that's about it. So, Gary, get us out of there.
And with that, that'll do it for episode 21 of the Gamesmen. On behalf of Garuin and Hardlydan, I am Amherst. We are the Gamesmen. Until next time, we ask.
What will you get?
Hold on. Nick, what are you clicking?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was breaking something.
I was like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, podcast stress.
Anger!
It's like I've got the attention span of a toddler, but...
It's more of the attention span of a
So I keep a drink in my hand. No,
Jeremy
stop asking
Clarkson.
questions. Dan, you're done. We are done. We're getting on with this so Garuin can maybe go away.
Alright,
I'm trying to get through my shit really fast.
Wolfenstein.
And you guys went off for like 10 minutes.
Wolfenstein.
Damn it. Oh no, we're done with Wolfenstein. We're on.
Yeah, we've done that.
Oh wait,
Hearthstone,
that's right.
we've done that.
No, we didn't do Hearthstone because
Watch
we're waiting for you to
Dogs,
get back.
GTA, and not as close
Shut
as...
up! Just let me get through it.
We've done that. Squirrel Nuts. Well, we
Oh
talked
my
about
god. Okay. Shh.
Nike and copyrighted Just Do It.
Really?
So really, you're copywriting three word. Technically, by saying just do it, we should probably send them some money. No, I'm just not going to do it. So fuck off.
Well, you've already said it a couple times, so I guess we have to send them some money.
A bit. It'll probably also add work as free advertising, but just to counteract that, Vans, Reebok, shoes.
No
I
one
could go.
cares.
If not fully satisfied with this podcast, please return any portions for a full refund.
You don't hear dicks.